After recollecting the emblem rings, Alir dies once again as his corrupted body couldn't handle the strain of resummoning the emblems. At the boundary of life and death, he still hasn't given up, conveys his will to keep fighting, and the emblems unanimously agree on using their miracle on Alir, elevating him to the rank of Emblem, becoming the 13th among them as the Fire Emblem. Losing the red and becoming all blue in his engaged state, and his emblem ring being the one that Lumera intended to gift upon him on his awakening. Unlike the other emblems, Alir retains his physical form, no longer corrupted, becoming a true divine dragon through and through, and he thanks the emblems for the additional plot armor, wasting no time fitting right in with his fellow series protagonists. Some shaking occurs, and it's only now that the group notice the resurfaced Gradlon, the rift in the sky, and that a barrier is protecting it, powered by Fell Dragon shards that will need to be destroyed. Before we move on, we get the bonds for Ivy and Lynn, Fogado and Corin to C rank, Tamara and Ike to B rank, as well as John and Byleth to A rank. And as I'm strapped for time, I'm shortening my support summaries. Morvier doesn't want to be rewarded by Alir and Vale start forming their sibling relationship, Fogado highlights Clan's manly traits, Vale inspires Clan to expand his pickle repertoire, Jean understands the importance of rest and becomes Linden's student, Ivy gets Morvier to share his thoughts on their shared enemies turned ally situations, Vale apologizes to Ivy and is insistent on toning one way or another, Tamara rejects Fogado's Fogado doll, insisting the real deal hang out with her more, Morvier rightly gets the f away from Linden's El Thunder popcorn experiment, and finally, Vander catches Fram slacking and tells her to do better. With those done, I buy a few heal staves since we're running low, then we detour to Firene for our last emblem-related paralogue. We enter broken ruins reminiscent of Altea Castle, where Marth grew up, detailing the start of his game when the Dolar Empire attacked and he was forced to flee. Marth gathered allies, name-dropping Ogma and his wife Sida, and that he fought for those who believed in him. Thus, Marth intends to test Alir's allies' faith in him on this remix of Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Lights, Chapter 17. We start at the castle entrance at the bottom, and with how the map is laid out, we pretty much have the option to rush down Marth, who's located in the locked room to the upper right, protected by numerous fabrications, a few having 1 or 2 revival stones, and stat-wise each have 1 or 2 stats capped out, as well as having anywhere between 50 to 65 attack. On the left side is a treasure room guarded by numerous heroes, with a few thieves already close enough to plunder a chest each. And below all that is another thief that'll be making its escape along the castle's outer perimeter. As for preparations, Alir is given Alphonse S, Panette takes back Leaf, Vale is given Micaiah, as well as the staves in Seedal's possession as I bench Linden for her, and have her consume the magic dust we got from Chapter 21. Corin is taken by Seedal, and Jean is provided Lucina. Everyone is put into these positions, and we start the map, with our goal of defeating the Hero King. Even though I've been warned numerous times on stream that the treasure chests aren't worth it, I plan to loot them regardless by having Vale engaged to rewarp herself, Alir, Merrin, Alchrist and Seedal to bypass the heroic defenses on turn 1. Merrin is refreshed so she can block the entrance, while Alir supports her from behind with the Levin sword. Louis engages to chase the waterside thief, and as for everyone else, we keep them from the enemy attack ranges while Ivy engages and prepares the doubles. The upper 2 chests get looted, and aside from those next to the treasure room, the enemy remains passive into turn 2. Now that Alir is an emblem, he can now engage plus with any adjacent ally so that both he and the ally can make use of his emblem abilities, weapons and attack, overwriting other emblems temporarily if they have one, and we utilize the latter immediately, using the adjacent to engage partner variant of Emblem Alir's engage attack, Bond Blast, to nuke both nearby thieves with Alir and Merrin respectively, activating the cracked attuned ability for each other before picking up the looted speed tonic and elixir. And to cap off the explanation of Emblem Alir, his bond level with allies is dependent on his support rank with them, so he's already at bond 20 with most of my endgame team. Seedal supports with his dance, while Alchrist makes 3 ranged shots to not be an enemy phase target, and Vale opens one of the chests to obtain an antitoxin. Yeah, I should have listened to my viewers, but hey, I've committed. As for everyone else, Louis apprehends the outer perimeter thief to collect the secret book they were holding, and I check to see if the entrance enemies can be aggroed by Astrostorm, and it works. Turn 3. The treasure room team take out the first revival stone of the hero with 2, with Vale picking up a spare L Thunder from the convoy so she can break the second stone, and contribute damage for the same reason as Alchrist making 3-range shots. Those at the entrance swiftly eradicate the fabrications that came to them, while Panette sets herself to bait the next warrior along the central path. Turn 4. 2 more treasure room guards are eliminated while the thief that just entered is ignored so they can eventually open the last chest so we don't have to. The entrance team finish off the baited lone warrior, Louis is set to intercept the enemies incoming from the left, while Panette again continues to bait more from the middle hallway, this time protected by bondage shield by an engaged Jean, continuing her crit streak. The thief assigned to the chest Vale opened runs crying, and then it's turn 5. I focus on the entrance team first as I had a hard time figuring out how to finish off the 1 revival stone sniper in the central hallway, while being mindful of the attacks that can bombard them from both the 2 and 3 range enemies in Marth's room, and the tomahawk users on the left. We do take out that sniper, utilising Goddess Dance from an engaged Fogado and setting up Bondage Shield to protect ourselves while making an aggressive push on the enemy phase. However, Fire Emblem RNG strikes again, as Jean misses his 80% chance to protect Ivy from a 10% crit by a general in Marth's room, which catches said Emblem's attention. We shift back to the treasure room team as their enemy phase was guaranteed safe. Merrin backstabs the last thief to collect the last of the trash treasure, and just like the last turn, they finish off 2 more guards. Back to the central hallway, this time we try to eliminate the sniper without attracting Marth's attention, as indicated by the pink zone. We successfully do so, with Jean's backup attack eliminating the warrior in the way, Panette and Clan shredding the revival stone, Fogado Goddess dancing Tamara and Panette, and those 2 plus Ivy are enough to finish it off while keeping everyone in mostly safe spots. Turn 6. The treasure team finally escape, and they help relieve the entrance group of one of the warriors heading their way. Clan, Panette and Fogado defeat a warrior opposite the wall on their end as well. Ivy does a hit and run up to the safe spot to the north, then Tamara gives space for Jean to bondage shield Louis, which I changed my mind on as I noticed that moving Louis could put Jean in danger. Thankfully, Louis barely survives onto turn 7. The treasure team finish a sniper threat for their allies and prepare to regroup. We rely on Louis to defend again, while almost everyone else retreats, but the backup attacks were too much for him to handle, and that leads to Tamara perishing too. This time around, I show why offense is the best defense. Jean treats Louis' wounds, while Fogado and Ivy defeat the closest hero. Panette moves below Fogado to engage, so Leaf's adaptable will prevent the enemy's triangle adept from shredding her, and she drinks an elixir with the intention of using her as a wall, which was unnecessary as I realised that I needed to eliminate this sword hero to protect Fogado, who's still at risk since that hero can just ignore Panette, while the axe hero can finish him off with their tomahawk. Thankfully, we just barely have the damage to do so, with backup attacks coming clutch. Tamara starts to break the sword hero and join as backup alongside Panette, for Louis, who moved around for extra momentum, and is positioned to force the next heroes along to either attack him or go around. To cap things off, Clan arrives to deal the finishing blow, which causes the last nearby heroes to split their attacks. A warrior in Marth's room smashes the door open, then enemy reinforcements start appearing in groups of 4 from the entrance for the next few turns. Turn 8. Those last 2 heroes get slain and we prepare for the oncoming reinforcements. Despite the door getting destroyed, it doesn't aggro Marth or his room's troops, so we only need to worry about the warrior that came out. Turn 9, I switch to defense at the left hallway to reorganize everyone, including the regrouped treasure team. Panette takes the lower position at the choke point, while Louis engages to get behind the threatening sage and stab them in the back with Override, slaying them before cantering to take the upper part of the choke point. Ivy is unfortunately unable to join everyone else, so she gets the heck away to safety. One last set of reinforcements appear from the entrance, but an additional 2 Wyvern Knights appear from Marth's room, and will continue to do so every other turn. Turn 10, we create a gap in the wall of enemies by taking out 3 of them, Also, Merrin can rush out to assassinate the second wave sage, and we keep her out there as her chances of getting a hit on the enemy phase are reasonably low. Is what I would have loved to believe, but she ends up eating 46 damage total from a general that has a 27% hit on her, so she was pretty much guaranteed to topple on the next backup attack. I attempt the same strategy on the next timeline, partially to rejig the RNG, but also to redo my order of attacks as it was extremely inefficient before. Merrin has engaged this time and countered to take over Pinette's role at the choke point, where thankfully she only takes the backup hit to make it to turn 11. We break through a weakened warrior, allowing Merrin to end the third wave sage, effectively making the rest of this turn and the next a breeze, as Louis no longer needs to worry about getting nuked with magic, and can comfortably hold the choke point with Merrin, allowing us to cleanly eradicate the last of the entrance reinforcements on turn 12, and prepare for the wyvern reinforcements that just made it out of Marth's room. Those two wyverns are quickly dispatched on turn 13, and we refresh Merrin so she can start aggroing Marth's troops by breaking the revival stone on one of the sages, keeping her at the wall so she can finish off that same sage, plus an additional one on the enemy phase, whilst poisoning a few extra units that attempted to hit her at counter-attacking range. Marth acknowledges our presence, and then it's turn 14, where we're fully prepared to swiftly take control of the throne room entrance choke point by having Alkris take out one of the wyverns, while Fogado and Louis finish off the other one. Clan puts the general at slow health, and then Alir engage pluses with Merrin, and he finishes off the general. Merrin blocks the enemy off, and then a refreshed Alir gets behind to support her avoid with Bond Forger, as well as to get away from the wall. Unnecessarily, I had Pinette bait some of the enemies on this corner here, miscalculating the number of positions the enemy could have attacked her from. So Tamara repositions her out on the next timeline, and we safely make it onto turn 15. We start off by having Clan poke a stranded Marth who's blocked by his own general to remove the chain guard protecting him, allowing Merrin and Fogado to break the first revival stone, while everyone else awaits the final turn. Merrin crushes Marth's second revival stone, then Clan follows up with Warp Ragnarok just because we can. Alkris finishes off the general at the choke point so we can move Alir forward and overkill Marth with Bond Blast.
Much has come to pass. Meetings, farewells, and reunions alike. How are you faring?
I could never put those feelings into words. So, I'll answer you with my weapon.
I would ask for nothing less.
Here I come!
Sleep now!
Engage blast! You've grown strong.
Marth approves of Alir and his allies' strength and is reminded of Tiki, a dragon that fought alongside him. Alir remarks how he and Tiki have Marth as a common ally and is grateful that he's with us. Just like the other emblems, Marth will follow us till the end. And for the last time this playthrough, our Max Bonds level is unlocked with Marth.